What is up, bras? Now it is finally time that we go in and cover all of the hidden changes that we were able to find that nobody knows about. This one took me a few days longer than normal after the season reveal to get out, but we got some pretty solid finds that you absolutely need to know about, like how the building on the east that's on the outside of the map bank now has an extra structure on it. You know, just the things that matter to you. So let me quickly shout out how I somehow got nominated for the best esports content creator of the year, and I'm truly honored to be on this list with some absolute goats. But if you do think that I deserve it, then please go vote for me. I'll have a link down below. Now, without further ado, let's go get into the next hidden change. So one of the first things that you're going to notice when you first get on the new season is that the new operator icons are going to look a little bit different when you pick your character. Definitely a little bit less detail in these, but I don't know. I'm not a game dev. Maybe it'll make the game run smoother or something. Now, in the same category as when you select a character, you're also going to notice some gadget icons are different in game. This one here, you're going to see that Thermite's little explosion effect in the top right corner is no longer there. You're also going to see a change on Habana where it's just a single pellet and there's not going to be any more of that like explosion effect around the perimeter. And you also see a change on Monty where there's a little bit less detail on the top and he no longer has an X in the center of the gadget icon. Death cams or replays are now going to show not just where, but also how you died. For example, right here when I fall off, it says it's an accidental death, even though every single time that I jump off of a building in Siege, it's 100% on purpose. Warden's no longer gonna throw gang signs or have a broken hand when you look down at him while he's sprinting around. Now the only other change you need to do to him is give his 1.5x over to Valkyrie, and I mean, he'll be perfect. When you activate Jackal's gadget icon, it's now gonna blink or flash, telling you that it's activated, versus before it didn't. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this one. Speaking of Jackal, I mean, I guess this is kind of a nerf in a way. Anytime you activate his gadget while repelling, he now has to come to a complete stop in order to do it. Basically interrupts your repel and makes you stop. Before, you used to be able to do this like super fluently and like be super nimble and just go all over the wall like Spider-Man, but yeah, it's not gonna happen anymore. All right, so this next one's actually a really good quality of life change. You now have to manually pick up the diffuser. So whatever, say a teammate accidentally drops it in sight or something, if you accidentally run over it and you don't even realize it, a lot of times that happens. You also now don't have the option to drop it once you enter sight. Before, dropping it and planting it was the same button, and oh man, there was just a lot of fumbles that would happen. The third little change with this is you also have a separate keybind for when you want to drop the diffuser versus plant. So yeah, again, good quality of life change. All right, so this next one, I'm gonna let you guys make up your own mind, let you guys decide once you get in game and see what you think. I'll show you here. Shibs was doing his usual detective work and he is 100% convinced that Yana is just more thick now. But yeah, you guys make up your mind.
Damn boy, he's thick, boy. That's a thick ass boy.
Action options seem to be a lot closer now. For example, when you repel, like changing stance, entering the building, etc., they're just a lot more stacked on top of each other versus here. I'll show you another clip on the main build and you can see space to enter, see to change stance, they have a bigger gap. And I say this in every test server video, but it is good to keep in mind this is just the test server. Everything you see here is subject to change, but from past experiences, a lot of these are going to make it into the live build. Now, I'm not 100% sure what is going on here, but for whatever reason on the test server, when you click on your username, I now have a Ubisoft logo next to my name. I don't know if this is kind of like a placeholder. There's a lot of rumors about cross-platform and stuff. Maybe this is where it'll show what you're signed in on. But yeah, on the current live build, there's no logo or anything by your name when you click on it. So I guess only time will tell. I'm guessing they did this one just so that there was more contrast. You could tell where the door frame was. Before, the door frame kind of blended in with the stripe design in the back. But yeah, they made the door frame on the bathroom black and you can definitely see it a lot easier. I don't know, kind of one of those just super random things that just happened. So I don't know if this one was intentional or not, but for whatever reason, you can now pick up Flores drones after you deploy them. As long as you grab them before they go into the detonation phase, then you're good to go. You can even grab them while they're running away from you. Shout out to Alan from the Dangleberries for pointing me in the direction. He was showing me this tweet from Han Solo, who found that like half of the windows on Coastline actually have like a new window frame around them. A lot of them seem to be the single windows, and my theory is most likely so that when you melee out just the bottom, you can't see as easy for spawn peaks. I don't know, maybe they have something planned with more reliable debris or whatever. But yeah, you can see that the window frames actually break. There's still some debris, but it does block a big chunk of vision if you are going to go for like a melee out the bottom of a window spawn peak. All right, it is time for the change that you all came here for. The building that's outside of the map on the east side of Bank got an addition on the rooftop. Absolutely game breaking. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this change and how it's going to impact your gameplay. So before we get into all of the recoil changes, we're going to do a quick factor cap TTS edition, and I went through some posts on Reddit about different changes, and some of them are pretty drastic, like there's still a secret way to still make bullet holes and more. So I thought I'd go in and test them out so that you don't have to. This first one, he was claiming that you can still make bullet holes by destroying a section of the wall and then going through destroying one layer of the wall because they are 2-layered, and then you can make bullet holes on the second layer. Luckily, by the time I tested this was already fixed. It does look like it worked at one point, but it sounds like Ubi was on top of it. I wanted to cover it though because it seemed like there was a lot of people pretty upset about it in the comments. But yeah, so props to Ubi. It seems like they're on top of it. Didn't work for me, so it's a cap. So this next one, it seems like he's claiming that there's unpolished or like an unfinished look on some of the hollow sites depending on what you're using. So I went in, threw on the exact same one he was using, the purple one, went into the same spot he was, and I didn't personally notice a difference whether I was on the live build or the TTS. So again, if there was a change with it, it seems like Ubi was on top of it. Props to them again. I don't know what his specs are. I think that there's a lot more that goes into this than just a surface level screenshot, but as of right now, I didn't notice a difference between the two builds. So up next, this guy posted about some missing vault prompts. The first one is in luggage on plane, and the other one he said is in the Visa waiting room on consulate, which isn't technically a room. There's a waiting room upstairs in between the two bomb sites, and Visa office is the one that's right below admin, and it's the one that has the hatch that leads downstairs, and there's also a hatch above in admin that people sometimes like watch the entrance from, and it's the only one that I could find with his description where there's chairs with plants behind it. So I went in, tested it out. Again, I didn't notice a difference from the live build versus the TTS, but credit where credit's due. He is right. There are certain spots where it is hard to get the vault prompt, but the difference here is that I didn't notice a difference between the live build and the TTS. Now up next, this one is super random, but honestly it's a really good attention to detail. This guy's claiming that there's still a muzzle flash even though he's using a suppressed MP5, and he's right. IRL, if you have a suppressor, it's gonna eliminate the muzzle flash for the most part, and every once in a while when you shoot on the TTS, you are gonna see a small flash. From my test, this actually is a reduced flash from when I compared it on house on the live build, and I know the lighting isn't exactly the same, but the muzzle flash on Echo's MP5 does seem to be reduced in the TTS versus the live build. It seems a lot more bright, so I guess it's a step in the right direction towards realism, but in the whole scheme of things, looking at the overall picture of Siege, it's hard to kind of nitpick realism in it already. I want to mention this wasn't a shot at anybody making these posts. They're all good finds, and we're all just posting to help make sure that Ubisoft is aware of them, and at some point on the TTS they probably did work the way that they were claiming, but from all of the tests that I have, I've come to the conclusion that you don't need to worry about them. Now, before I do end the video, I am going to leave a bunch of the new weapon recoil changes and comparisons here, and there's really not much to say about it besides the SMGs feel a lot easier to control and Ash's gun feels a lot harder to control. In the past, I have found some recoil differences, but it does seem like Ubisoft did a good job at listing all of the changes in the patch notes this time, but I don't think a lot of people actually go through and read it all, so I included a lot of them here so that you don't have to. I do really wish that Ubisoft would give us more detailed stats of these changes, like what percentage of horizontal recoil was actually reduced and so on, because honestly it's really hard to tell and test yourself, especially because there's no shooting range or like fast easy way to swap attachments and get a quick feel comparison yourself. By the time I put on like a flash hider or a compensator, it's already been like a minute since shooting the last one, and it just really doesn't do it justice. So I do hope this helps, and I am curious to know your guys' thoughts on this season so far, so let me know down below. If you do feel like I deserve it, I have been nominated for Best Esports Content Creator of the Year, so vote for me with the link below, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Peace.